Today I'm going to tell you how good or bad I am at all of my 15 languages. And believe me, the truth is not always pretty. So get ready for my honest ranking of all of my 15 languages, starting with the best and ending with the worst. My name is Milan, and I don't believe speaking a language means being completely fluent, proficient, or native-like. Most people who say that are either lying or just showing off. I'm doing neither. What I'm doing is showing you the reality, level by level, no filter. And if you want proof, I'm putting each language to the test with a native speaker. The first video is already up, and others will follow, so check out the description below. Let's start at the top. Slovak is my only native language. I was born speaking it, I studied law in it, so I'm legally responsible for it, I guess. I thought it was clear I speak it, but even this has been questioned in the comments, so I guess I will have to publish a conversation in Slovak on this channel too. But I'll be more than happy to do that because I think that Slovak is an underrated language. As for my other languages, I will divide them into two major groups, C level and B level. Just a short recap in case you aren't familiar with the CEFR, which is the common European framework of reference for languages. There are 6 levels from A1 up to C2. A1 means beginner, A2 is elementary, B1 is intermediate, B2 is upper intermediate. C1 is advanced and C2 is proficient. At B1, you become an independent user, so you are conversational, which means you can communicate but are not completely fluent. From B2 on, you are basically fluent. This is usually the threshold for fluency, but advanced fluency starts at C1. If you want to know my scores from B1 to C2, check out the interviews in the respective languages. As for the C level, I hold C level exams, which are necessary for teaching and translating in English, German, French, and Spanish. But I have to admit that when it comes to speaking, I'm much more comfortable in English or German than in French or Spanish, simply because I don't practice speaking French and Spanish on a regular basis. So I might not know some slang, specific words, or idioms in those languages. In spite of my C level and thousands of pages I have translated over the years, there is a lot to improve, including my English, which I have been studying for 35 years. Actually, English is a strange one. I never grew up speaking it at home, but over the years it became part of everything. My work, my communication, and this channel too. German is tied to places for me, specifically to Bavaria, as I spent 1 year there during high school. That 1 year made the language natural to me. I'm not perfect, but I love it, and I use it in my work. Legal German is quite unique, believe me. Besides those 4 languages, I'm at a C level in Croatian and Slovenian. This is due to the fact that they are close to Slovak. I think Slovak is actually more difficult than Slovenian or Croatian, so that's why it was possible for me to learn those languages at a relatively high level in just a few years. You know, with these languages, it's a strange feeling, like finding a cousin you didn't know you had. If you're still with me, subscribe. It only gets more honest from here. Then there is the bigger group of B-level languages. My best languages in that group are Dutch, Hungarian, and probably Italian too. I started studying Dutch and Italian more than 20 years ago, but I didn't have a particular reason to take my knowledge to the next level. Let me tell you this, Dutch is really interesting. If German and English had a complicated relationship, Dutch would be the result. Hungarian is a recent one. I started it 3 years ago. Hungary is my neighbor, and my grandmother was Hungarian, so it's not an exotic language to me, but it's not easy. I've learned it to a level where I can communicate, I can handle a common conversation, but specific vocab is still a challenge. I have a lot to work on. Italian has its specific charm. Recently, I've been listening to more Italian music, which is mostly clear and useful for language learning, and watching Italian movies. It would be interesting to dig into legal Italian, which is fascinating, but I just haven't had the time, so maybe in the future. Also in the B group, there is that underrated but very significant language, Latin. I studied classical Latin, including proper grammar, but I use the ecclesiastical pronunciation because in that form the language is kept alive, and I like it more than reconstructing the original Roman pronunciation. It's not a conversational language, but it connects everything. So if you understand Latin, every Romance language just makes sense. Then there's the neglected language that deserves a lot of my time and attention, and it's Portuguese. I learned it to a B1 level, but there is still a lot to work on. The same applies to my Scandinavian triplet, Swedish, Norwegian and Danish. I love them all, their sounds, and the subtle differences. There is nothing more exciting than switching between Swedish, Norwegian and Danish shows on Netflix. That's what I really enjoy doing, but again, they deserve a lot of my time and attention. That's a plan for the future. The Scandinavian languages have been waiting for me to commit properly. So those are my 15 languages. Decades of work, still imperfect. And I'm not ashamed to say that because I enjoy the process more than the certificate. But that's the kind of learner I am. Always curious, I reach a certain level, discover something new, start speaking quickly, move on and come back later. That's how I keep it exciting. Why am I telling you this? Because I want to be transparent and clear about where I stand in these languages and show you my progress in real time on this channel. So you can follow me as I take my Portuguese or Norwegian to B2 or my Hungarian or Dutch to C1. And what about you? Are you that kind of learner? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see how I learn from scratch, check out my language challenge series. My next update is Swahili, and this summer you'll find out how I did in Kenya. If you like this video, subscribe. And by the way, this is Topolčanky Castle, the most beautiful classicist castle in Slovakia. It was owned by the Habsburgs, and later it became the favorite summer residence of the first Czechoslovak president, Tomáš Garrigue Masaryk. There's an almost 100-year-old clip of him speaking English in the description. It's worth watching. See you next time.